Hello everyone, my name is Ritesh Pandey and in this video we'll talk about decarboxylation reactions. Now naturally decarboxylation means loss of carbon dioxide and it will be most relevant for carboxylic acids, compounds having COOH group. So I've written a basic equation here. You find an acid with a mixture of NaOH calcium oxide, which is very popularly called soda lime mixture, is losing carbon dioxide to become a hydrocarbon. Now this will be true for aliphatic acids, aromatic acids, cyclic compounds. So this R could be aliphatic or aromatic or cyclic. Any carboxylic acid when heated with soda lime will give you a product with one carbon less. It's a step down process. It will be used in conversions as well to decrease the number of carbon atom in a compound. Plus there will be some very basic questions like you can have a compound like X which on heating with soda lime is suppose giving you propane. Now if the product contains 1, 2, 3 carbon and this is loss of carbon dioxide, naturally X must be having 4 carbon with a COOH. So that would mean X is butanoic acid. Naturally, if you are given a compound Y which on heating with soda lime is suppose giving you benzene. Now this means Y must be having benzene ring plus a COOH group which was decarboxylated and Y is benzoic acid. Similarly, there could be a compound Z which suppose is giving you cyclobutane. I told you aliphatic, aromatic, cyclic, and this will mean Z could be a compound like this, ring and a COOH group. Now this is a very routine common reaction. You find this in the preparation of hydrocarbons, decarboxylation using soda lime mixture. Another very interesting type of decarboxylation will be when we talk about some compounds, some molecules which will decarboxylate without soda lime, only on heating. Now trust me, that will be a very interesting discussion and it accounts for several questions in different exams. You talk about IIT JEE exams, NEET exams, will need to know about some molecules, some compounds which will decarboxylate without soda lime mixture, and those are going to be very vital pieces of information. Again, before we go there, a couple of more facts about this reaction. You will find -I-R promoting decarboxylation. Now -I-R effect promotes decarboxylation because suppose an acid initially in alkaline medium becomes a carboxylate, and if suppose this is the electronic movement, you see carbon dioxide coming out, So if this is how carbon dioxide goes out, with this bond pair coming on R, you will have a carbon ion. And naturally a carbon ion is stabilized by -I-R effect. Now because a carbon ion is stabilized by -I-R effect, we'll believe a -I-R effect will promote decarboxylation. And yet again there are some very simple common questions like, you will want to copy it at your convenience, and then there could be questions where you will want to know that acetic acid, and if you have a chlorine here or if you have a couple of chlorine here, or suppose if this is CCl3COOH, so trichloro more than dichloro more than chloro more than acetic acid, -I effect of chlorine, 1 chlorine, 2 chlorine, 3 chlorine, more chlorine, more -I effect, more will be the ease of decarboxylation. So this is the order of ease of decarboxylation. If suppose you have a NO2 group or a cyano group which is a -R effect, it has -I as well as -R, strong -I effect. Now this will have higher decarboxylation, this will have higher decarboxylation. Then suppose a ClCH2COOH which will, because of -I, have higher ease of decarboxylation than acetic acid. Another common question which comes to my mind is, you can have CF3COOH, CF3, CH2COOH, then CH2 double bond CHCOOH, then CH triple bond CCOOH. I'll call it compound 1, compound 2, compound 3. Now this is sp3, sp2, sp, sp3, sp2, sp. You know sp more than sp2 more than sp3 is percentage character, electronegativity, withdrawing power. So naturally 3 more than 2 more than 1, and these all will be the ease of decarboxylation. So these are some very basic questions where given a set of compounds with more minus I minus R effect, you will believe decarboxylation will happen more readily. It's not like every time the count of carbon decreases. There could be a reaction like coal-based electrolytic method, again used for the formation of alkane, alkene, alkyne, where you will find radicals joining, coupling, and the count of carbon can be more. There could be another reaction like Huns-Diaker reaction, RCOOAg, now used RCOOA used for the formation of alkyl halides. There the count of carbon might decrease. So there could be more decarboxylation reactions, but this is the most popular one involving soda-lime mixture. Now we'll want to talk about molecules which will undergo decarboxylation without soda-lime mixture. So allow me to rub this. I repeat, you will want to copy it at your convenience. And now we'll talk about molecules which will undergo decarboxylation without soda-lime mixture. And this will be, I repeat, very, very important for all engineering and medical entrance aspirants. So now suppose we are talking about decarboxylation without soda lime. Decarboxylation without soda lime or decarboxylation only on heating without soda lime. Now the first compound which comes to my mind is a beta keto acid. Beta keto acid. If you have an acidic group, this is alpha carbon. At beta position, if you have a ketonic group. Now naturally we'll call it a beta keto acid. A beta keto acid only on heating will give you decarboxylation. So carbon dioxide will go, we will get the remaining compound. It could be an open chain compound, or it could be a ring. Yet again, even if it's a ring, you will see it as a beta keto compound. On heating, this will be the final product. And this becomes very important in reactions which are like synthetic steps. In due course, we'll talk about reaction mechanisms where you'll have a product like this formed, and the final answer would not be this compound, but a compound here, because somewhere in the problem, you will find a delta sign, and that would mean this will also be an option, that will be also an option, and this will be the right option because you will want to see this as a beta keto compound. Suppose you have a question like, this is PCC oxidizing CHO to COOH and heating. Now maximum people will oxidize CHO to COOH. Maximum people will oxidize CHO to COOH and give this as the answer. But the right answer will be, this got oxidized to COOH, alright. But because you have a delta here, the right answer will be this one. Yet again, there is a very popular reaction called Claisen condensation. At some point of time, you will learn about Claisen condensation. Now, intramolecular Claisen can give you a ring of this kind. Intramolecular Claisen can give you a ring of this kind. I'll tell you, you can have a compound like COO, C2H5, then 1, 2, 3, 4, CH2 whole 4, COO, C2H5. When you treat it with C2H5O minus, this will be intramolecular Claisen. You will want to remember this reaction, this intramolecular Claisen. Intramolecular Claisen. It's also called Deichmann reaction. You will want to know the mechanism. You will have an intramolecular Claisen. An enolate would come and attack here. There will be loss of ethoxide. The role of this ethoxide will be catalytic. And this will give you a compound like this one. This will be the product of this compound, which is a beta keto ester, which is a cyclic beta keto ester. So this could be a question, a question of this kind, this one oxidation, will become COOH, but on heating, you'll give only cyclopentanone as the answer. This could be a question where intramolecular Claisen-Dieckmann and hydrolysis and heating. Now this one, hydrolysis on heating, will initially give you yet again this molecule, but this will not be the right answer. The right answer would be, because there is a heating involved, you will want to identify this as a beta keto acid and you will want to remove carbon dioxide. So this will be the right answer. This will be the right answer whether it's a question of this kind or whether it's a question of this kind. Now naturally, every time you get a compound like this, if there is heating involved, you will want to identify this as a beta keto acid, and this is my first compound, beta keto acid, which decarboxylates without soda lime mixture. We'll talk about the second molecule now. Again, you will want to copy this at your convenience. Allow me to rub this. Learn about Claisen-Dieckmann. PCC naturally is a mild oxidizing agent which oxidizes only aldehydes till acids. So this will oxidize CHO to COOH, but because you have a delta sign, this will be the right answer. And the second molecule which can decarboxylate in this manner is a GEM dicarboxylic acid. It's a GEM dicarboxylic acid. Again, very, very important. GEM dicarboxylic acid. This is again very important. Now, GEM or geminal means two similar groups on the same carbon. So, geminal dicarboxylic acid means on the same carbon you have two COOH groups. Geminal dicarboxylic. On one carbon you have two COOH groups. Now, this on heating will lose carbon dioxide. One carbon dioxide will go. This will be the final product. A very popular application is, you see this decarboxylation. This dicarboxylic acid is very popularly named as malonic acid. This is malonic acid. Now malonic acid on heating. We'll take up heating effect of dicarboxylic acid in some other video. We'll talk about the heating effect of all dicarboxylic acid. But this happens to be a dicarboxylic acid which is a geminal dicarboxylic acid. Geminal because on one carbon you have two COOH groups. So geminal dicarboxylic acid, heating effect is, you will want to remove a carbon dioxide and get CH3COOH. So you will want to remember about these two compounds, beta keto acid, GEM dicarboxylic acid, and once you have copied this, we will want to talk about the third molecule of this kind, which will not need soda lime mixture. See, it's happening only on heating, no soda lime mixture required. So once you are done copying this, we will talk about the third molecule, which will decarboxylate in a similar manner only on heating, and that compound happens to be a beta gamma unsaturated acid. Now how do you draw a beta gamma unsaturated acid? A beta gamma unsaturated acid will be drawn in this manner. Suppose this is COOH, alpha beta gamma, place a pi bond here. So this is beta gamma unsaturated acid. Beta gamma unsaturated acid, again on heating you will lose carbon dioxide. You lose carbon dioxide and this will be the final product. You will get carbon dioxide gone, a 4 carbon compound will become a 3 carbon compound, and this will be the final product. So remember these three names: beta keto acid, GEM dicarboxylic acid, beta gamma unsaturated acid. What is a beta keto acid? This is how a beta keto acid will look like. This is how a beta keto acid will look like. Alpha, beta keto acid. What is a GEM dicarboxylic acid? 2 COOH on same carbon. And this is a beta gamma unsaturated acid. Keep this in mind. There are more compounds, but these three are relevant for you. Beta keto acid, GEM dicarboxylic acid, beta gamma unsaturated acid on heating will lose carbon dioxide without soda lime mixture. Now generally, if you have a process happening only on heating, without any reagent, without any catalyst, it might involve an intramolecular cyclic transitory state. Now that will happen in a lot of cases. You will recall so many mechanisms in organic chemistry where if something is happening only because of heating, I repeat, without reagent, without catalyst, only heating, it might involve an intramolecular cyclic transitory state and I would want to maybe show it for a couple of examples. So maybe for beta keto acid, gem dicarboxylic acid, beta gamma unsaturated acid, we'll see how this might be happening. Suppose if it's a beta keto acid, see what I can do. I can write beta keto acid in this manner. I can write beta keto acid in this manner, and on heating, I can imagine making and breaking of bonds in this manner. The energy required will be supplied by heating. And if suppose this is how I think of a making and breaking of bond, a few things relevant would be, first of all, if suppose, you know how to draw the transitory state? Every time you have to draw the transitory state, the bond which is about to be broken, discontinuous. The bond which is about to be made, discontinuous. The bond which is about to be broken, so this is discontinuous. About to be made, discontinuous. This will stay put. About to be broken, discontinuous. This is how you draw a transitory state. Now this is a 6-membered cyclic transitory state. It's very popularly called a 6-membered cyclic transitory state. I might have also spoken about some reactions involving 3 arrowheads, which means 6 electrons are involved. That's another story. But every time there is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-membered cyclic transitory state, the energy required will be lesser because 6-membered rings are stable. This will require lesser activation energy. So this happens on a little bit of heating. And you see carbon dioxide coming out. You see carbon dioxide detaching itself. Now when carbon dioxide goes out, after this 6-membered cyclic transitory state, see this bond was always there, so this is concrete. The one which is about to be made, discontinuous. This bond, one bond is already there, so it's concrete. The one which is about to be broken, the one which is about to be made, this is how you draw cyclic transitory state. The one which is about to be broken, discontinuous. About to be made, discontinuous. This bond is obviously concrete. Now naturally, once carbon dioxide is going from here, you see carbon dioxide going out. Hydrogen attaching to this oxygen. See carbon dioxide gone, a pi bond here and OH here. This will naturally tautomerize. This is tautomerism. So you see 1, 2, 3, 4 carbon becoming a 3-carbon compound and carbon dioxide gone. I can do this for gem dicarboxylic acid. I can do this for beta gamma unsaturated acid. Again, you will want to copy this at your convenience. I hope you're understanding me. Carbon dioxide gone, OH, a pi bond here, this will tautomerize. And I repeat, a 6-membered cyclic transitory state is facilitating it. I can do that for a gem dicarboxylic acid. Maybe yet again I'll want to have C double bond O OH. On this carbon I have another COOH. I can again think about a making and breaking of bond. See, I can again think about this interacting in this manner, this coming here. I can again think about a making and breaking of bond, and this will, after loss of carbon dioxide, give me a COH OH double bond CH2. Now this can also tautomerize to C double bond O OH CH3. So you see again a 1, 2, 3 carbon compound losing carbon dioxide, becoming a 2-carbon acid. You know malonic acid on heating will give you acetic acid, 1 carbon dioxide gone. I could show it for beta keto acid, I could show it for a gem dicarboxylic acid, making and breaking of bond, and I can also show it for beta gamma unsaturated acid. So allow me to rub it again, and for beta gamma unsaturated acid, alpha, beta, gamma. Suppose I draw it a little tilted. Alpha, beta, gamma. A double bond here. So this is beta gamma unsaturated acid. Now this interacting with this obviously coming here and this coming here is how I'll see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 membered ring, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 membered ring every time. I see carbon dioxide going out, I see carbon dioxide going out, and naturally 1, 2, 3, you write it in this manner or you write it in this manner. This will decarboxylate to give you, say, propene in this case. So remember these three cases: a beta keto acid, a Jem dicarboxylic acid, or alpha beta gamma. These three compounds on heating will have carbon dioxide gone without soda ring. So with carbon dioxide gone, you'll get propene, There are a couple of more compounds which come to my mind, but they have not so far come in the IIT JEE exam. So they could either be new questions, or could come only in an exam like JEE Advanced or suppose an exam like AIIMS. So I'm just willing to talk about a couple of more compounds which could be like new questions. You'll just want to know about it. You know this molecule. Next to pyridine, this lone pair is not used, mind you, this lone pair is not used. Next to pyridine, if you have COOH. Now this is called picolinic acid. Picolinic acid on heating can lose carbon dioxide. I repeat, this is a new type of question. If this comes, this will come in JEE Advanced only. You'll have more compounds of this kind where if you have an aromatic ring, a stable aromatic ring, where a lone pair is not used, and next to it you have a COOH. This can also undergo decarboxylation. A similar example could be using, again, this is aromatic, it's called furan. So if you have COOH here, it's called furoic acid, 2-furoic acid. 2-furoic acid also on heating can lose carbon dioxide, giving you furan. But yet again, these are cases which have not come in exams at your level. Maybe you'll just want to know about these cases where you have an aromatic ring, an unused lone pair, and next to it you have COOH. These can also decarboxylate without soda lime mixture. You will want to take a note of everything and apply it wherever it's required. In another video, we'll talk about the heating effect of all dicarboxylic acids, say beta hydroxy acids, beta amino acids. There will be some questions, where the heating effect part would be required. I hope you'll find this video useful. And as I told you, for dicarboxylic acids, hydroxy acids and amino acids, we'll have more recording sessions. This much for the time being. Thank you so much.